Hello, good morning, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of How to Crowdfund 5K in 30 Days. Today's topic is your signature story. And I'm really excited to dive into this, guys, because this is the foundation of everything. But first, I'd love to know where you tuning in from. Are you PST, EST in France and Germany? Where you tuning in from? And good morning, good morning. If you're with me, say hi. Give me some kind of thumbs up, some hi in the chat. That way I can keep looking. I've got to toggle screens here, so it helps me to know who's online, who's watching, as we dive into the topic of signature story. So the whole idea behind signature story is fans fund artists who know their story. Think about it this way: even artists who go on American Idol. Do you notice they all have a story, right? Christine Morel is a artist coach, and she even says that's what got her featured on multiple platforms. Is she knew her story going into those interviews, going into different things. So yes, we as artists get to share our story with our music, but I think there is a great strength, and it is very possible for every artist to be able to articulate that story in words as well. So that's what we'll be going over today. If you missed the replay, if you missed the live yesterday, there is a replay of yesterday. Today's today's live is only going to be about 15 to 30 minutes. Yesterday we had a longer session together, and it was an overview of everything, all of 3 of my pillars, which number 1 is signature story. Kind of a little bit more of my story and how I even got started with this. Some clients and artists that I've worked with, and how I help them create 5K in 30 days. So yeah, if you want to hear more, definitely tune into the replay from yesterday. We went live at 10:30 a.m. yesterday, and you'll have way more information. But today is just going to be signature story, and it's going to be a shorter time. So I will answer your questions around signature story, and then give an opportunity at the end if you want to learn more from me. So again, guys, my name is Jess Eva Allen. I am a singer-songwriter as well as a crowdfunding coach, and I am super passionate about getting artists funded. I mean, plain and simple. What I notice about artists is we all face the same things. We all face fears. We all face abundance mindset, challenges when it comes to money. We all face these mindsets around time. I don't have enough time. I don't have money. And even lone wolfing, going at it ourselves, not having a team of people around us, doing a lot of things for others and not for ourselves. So my whole passion is that we get we wrap our mind around possible ways to create these solutions for these problems that we face as artists, right? And we do it in ways that are authentic and aligned to who we are. My best clients that I work with are mission driven. They're purpose driven artists who know what they're about, who know they want to make a difference in the world. They want to make an impact. But a mission takes some funds. A purpose takes a team. And so we as artists, yes, we do great in our closet, but can we come into our own as a entrepreneur, as an artist business, as someone who wraps their head around and honors and values themselves to a very high level so that they can have their projects funded, their missions funded. I know every single artist online here, and I'm going to go talk back to Instagram, ladies who rock. Sharon, I'm looking at you. Karen, I'm looking at you. I know every single artist on here they're doing their art because, first of all, we're made to do it. We love it. And second of all, they have a big reason to do it. They want to make impact. And so I'm looking at you. This is the place and space for you to thrive and to get funded. So if that's you, if that resonates with you, definitely stay on for the next few minutes. I'm going to be going over the first pillar of my program. Again, if you didn't get a chance to tune into the live yesterday, I went over all 3 pillars, all the artists I've helped. Definitely tune into the replay from yesterday as well. All right. So first of all, I want to know in the chat, we have some new people. We had people join us on the live yesterday, so we have new people today. What is your next project that you're working on? What is the next project that you're working on? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Is it a single? Is it an album? Is it an EP? What is that thing that you are working on right now? Let's put it in the chat. And I will just go into the chat here. All right, morning, Garrett. I see you. I see you. Great to have you on today. And let's see, I'm looking in the chat. Mary, or is it Many Ikes Lonnie Official? Did I say that right? Welcome. Welcome. What's your next project that you're working on as an artist? I'd love to know in the chat. What are you guys working on? And what are you welcoming in the funds for? Right? We've got to be open to receive. Generosity is not just giving, 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 giving of yourself. It is also receiving. There has to be a flow, give, take, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Glamster Zero says 5 to 6 singles. Awesome. That's kind of like an EP, almost album zone. Love it. Exciting. Yeah, you get to welcome in the funds. Sharon says an album. Awesome. What are you guys working on that you're welcoming in the funds? It's important to keep your vision in front of you. Do you guys ever notice that humans are really forgetful? I'm a human. I can say that. I forget where I'm going. I forget sometimes my value. And so that's why it's good to put it in writing and keep it in front of people. So, because you never know who you're going to meet. So go ahead and put it in the chat. All right. What if I could show you a strategy that supports you regardless of what step you are in? If you're in the beginning phases of this project, you're welcome to be here. If you are in the middle phases of collaborating and building your fan base, you're welcome to be here. If you are in the end phases where you're ready to share your album, you're about to share your album, maybe you shared it already, you're welcome here. This is what I love about crowdfunding. It is versatile no matter what step of the project you are in, because we could always use funding for our mission. And that is crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? It is, just in case you didn't know, the practice of funding a project or venture by raising many small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via the internet. And this is the answer to Wikipedia and the internet. So this is something that is a well-known resource, but I think artists don't know about it as much. Investments and businesses use crowdfunding all the time, but artists, I've noticed at least, we have to make a shift to being a business owner. We have to make a shift to having a business plan within our art. We just know we love it sometimes. That's great, but if you want to create funds and you have a mission that you want to fund, there gets to be a plan that goes with it. There gets to be strategy, and there gets to be a team of people who outthink you, right? So that's what we're here to create. And I'm not going to walk through all 3 pillars, but again, if you missed the replay from yesterday, go back and listen to it from yesterday. It is gold. We had lots of people jumping on and interacting. So we'll go through all 3 pillars in the replay of yesterday. But today we're just going to talk about our signature story and dive a little bit deeper. So are you ready to hear these 3 pillars? What is your story behind your project? Why is this project important to you? And what will this project do for you? Again, if you missed it, the importance of your signature story, guys, if your campaign is like you're building a house and you're going to have a party in your house, right? Hey, Serena, Ruth. Good to see you joined. You're going to have a party in your house. You will need a foundation for your house, right? So the signature story is the foundation of your whole crowdfund. And if you have a pen and paper, I would just encourage you, get a pen and paper out and start writing the answer to this. Start brainstorming the answer to this, because this is what moves people. If artists don't know the story behind their project, it's really hard for fans to latch on. Of course, the music does speak for itself. I get it. But if you can articulate what the story is behind the project and why it's important to you and why it's important to them in a short amount of time, under 2 minutes, what a gift that is to people, because you're leading people. through a journey. They get to go on an adventure with you. And here's the cool thing about people, even if your house just has a foundation, some people will latch on in the beginning, right? That's a great thing about crowdfunding. You could have a big fan base, a small fan base, or you could have early adopters. If you have your signature story, it doesn't matter how big your fan base is, because you're going to have early adopters either way, right? So signature story, you've got to have your foundation. And again, I talked about this at the beginning. Think about TV shows, The Voice, American Idol. What do they all have in common? They have a story to share on those platforms. Christine Morel talks about being featured on NBC News, on radio shows and talk shows. It's because she knew her story. So that's why this is so, so key, guys. So I want you to get a pen and paper out and write down the answer to this. Number one, I'm going to go into the middle question because I like this one because it gets you connected to the story behind the project as well sometimes. So why is this project important to you? Right? The one thing that people can't take away from us is our story. It's our story. I mean, it's ours, right? So start with you. Why is this project so important to you? An example of this is my friend or a coach that I know, Justin Giddings. He's a filmmaker crowdfunding coach. He had a client that just shared, my grandmother died, and I know that she would want me to pursue my passions and my dreams, and now is the time. I wish I could have done it when she was alive, but I know this will honor her memory. And that's why the film was so important to him. It had nothing to do with his grandma, like the story of the film, but it was why this was so important to him right now. So start thinking about that. Why is this important to you right now? Another example of this for me would be, I would say, hey, John, talk about John a lot. I have been struggling with believing that my voice counts, that I am enough, that like my music is even worth sharing. And this was me back in 2020. And I have to be honest, John, like I've put off this music for 10 years. And it's because I just keep doubting myself. I keep going in this circle. I spiral and I spiral and I spiral and I just never finish it. And I'm done with that. I'm over it. And that's why this project is so important to me. So be thinking about that. Number one, why is this project so important to you? Start writing some things down. Okay? All right. If you got it, give me a thumbs up. You're writing things down for your story. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. All right. The next question you want to be asking is, what is the story behind this project, and why is this project important for others? Sometimes those two questions go together, but I would say something like, let's just say I shared why it was important to me, and I would say something like, this project is really close to my heart because I know there's other people who struggled with fear, just like me, and maybe you guys can relate to this, the fear of it not working, the fear that I'm going to be rejected, the fear that, all these fears. And that's what the album is literally about, right? For me and my crowdfund, it really went together. It was like, this is the fear I've been facing, and my whole project is about that. So it really easily went together. One of my songs was called In the Quiet, and it was about me just like getting quiet, remembering who I was, and like praying and really remembering, oh, this is my story is more than enough to make an impact on someone's life. I don't have to be Beyonce. I don't have to be this person or that person. It's enough, and it's authentic and it's me, and I don't have to try too hard, right? I can just be me. And so that whole song, and I'm shameless plug, I'm going to be releasing a music video, guys. You're the first ones to know. In March. So you can tell people, but you're the first ones to know. It's kind of a secret, kind of not. But I'm going to be releasing a music video for that song in March. So very excited about that. But that's literally what the album was about and why it was so important to me and why I believed it was important for others to hear. People literally, I shared my demos during the campaign and people were literally calling me crying, like, oh my gosh, I like, you just spoke me. Like, how'd you know? And how'd you know? You know, we all, if we've put out music, we've all had those moments with people, I think. And that's why we are artists, right? That moment, we live for those moments, don't we? So that's why the signature story is so, so key. So if it's making sense, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. I'd love to know what's jumping out at you guys. I'll give you a second to share. What's jumping out at you guys? What's making sense? Um, what's the first thing that you're sharing in your story? If you can, type it in the chat. I'd love to know. All right, so we're going to go to our next slide here. Here's some practical ways to use this video or this story. Number one is you're going to be creating an opt-in video script. So once you get your story down, and we're going to be workshopping this at my next workshop on Friday and Saturday, by the way. So if you're someone who's looking to workshop this in a group, definitely comment workshop and I can get you the details for that. So the first thing you're going to do is put it in a script. And for me, I did write out my script before I filmed my video. So the more prepared you can be for the video, the better. If you hire a videographer, you know, they can help you piece it together, even if you mess up and all that stuff. Or if, you know, Clara, she's not on today, but Clara can help you with editing and different things like that. So there are people that you can reach out to help you with this. But if you want to DIY it, definitely record it all in one shot. It's going to be about 2 minutes. And that's usually about people's attention spans is 2 minutes. And if you want to know how to create an attention-grabbing, well-crafted script, definitely comment workshop because we're going to be going over it at the workshop on Friday and Saturday. So that's the opt-in video script. You want to put it, you're going to write it out. And the next thing is you're going to write a page description for whatever platform you choose. So Indiegogo, Kickstarter, Rocket Fuel, those are all great platforms that you can choose to collect the funds. And a page, like a page, they will take a percentage, right? They'll take anywhere from 5 to 10% of the proceeds, but it's worth it because you have a page where everything's all in one place. People know the platforms and they know, you know, oh yeah, this is what people do on these platforms. So definitely write out a page description with your signature story all at once. And again, once you get it down, you just keep sharing this for the next 6 months. Let's just say you crowdfund in April or May. You're going to be sharing this story before the crowdfund. You're going to be sharing this story during the crowdfund. You're going to be sharing this story after the crowdfund. You're going to be sharing this story during the promo of the actual album that you release. So literally, once you get this story down, it's so easy, right? So that's why this is the foundation. And then the last thing is you're going to be sharing this story in all sorts of social media clips and emails that you share with people. And you're going to want that written out in a few different ways as well. Again, if you're wanting some support around this, definitely comment workshop and I can get you some support for that this weekend. Okay, awesome. Any questions so far? Go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, you can help you. Oh, good. Sharon helped you tap into a key element. Awesome. We are all busy writing. I get it. Yeah, write it down, guys. Write it down. Okay. And then keep writing, guys. Keep writing. I'd love to know what's coming up for you. The last thing that we're going to be talking about is the plan that you have. And you want to set a date, guys. When in the year are you going to launch your crowdfund? This is very important to write down because when you put it out there, that's when things start happening for you, right? When it's in front of your face, like we were talking about earlier, humans are forgetful. I don't know if you noticed that too. Anyone else notice how forgetful we can be? This is me too. If it's not in front of my face, I don't remember why I'm doing it, what I'm doing, when it's happening. So write it down. Write it down. Don't let it be floating around in the ethers. Make it practical. And this is something that we're going to talk about at the workshop as well, having a business plan to go with this crowdfund. You don't want to just crowdfund and then, oh, it's done. You want the crowdfund to be a part of a long-term plan, a long-term business solution for your music so that you can continue to be funded after the crowdfund. The great thing about crowdfunding is it is immediate. It's like urgency. I always say this: connection plus urgency equals currency. That's the great thing about crowdfunding is it is urgency, and therefore you create money fast. You can create that 10K fast, 5K fast. And that's what I did as well. However, my passion and goal is that you would, one, have fans before the crowdfund so that they can support you throughout the crowdfund. And then you would have fans after the crowdfund supporting you as well. Again, these are people who are going to latch onto your mission, who you are, your purpose. And if you can articulate that well in this signature story, you're going to have fans for the long run. You're going to have fans who are not just, oh yeah, I'll just donate $10 and then forget. You're going to have fans like begging you, can I jump on a Zoom with you? You are so cool, right? And I'm sure some of us have even experienced this. So really valuing ourselves at this high level comes with a business plan, right? If we're not making a business plan with our decisions in this crowdfund, there's some vision work to be done, and that's why this having a plan is so key. So when in the year, write it down right now. What's your launch date? Are you going to do 30 days? That's what I did, 30 days. Or are you going to do 6 weeks, which is a little bit longer? You have a little bit longer leeway time. If you do 30 days, I suggest much more prep on the front end, right? 1 to 2 months of prep. If you do 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, if I've heard of people doing that as well, just know that it's going to be a grind for 8 weeks. I myself did it faster because I was in a pinch. I had already made a goal outside of this crowdfund. So it was like urgency for me. But if you want a little bit more leeway time and you want to have like daily events, we're going to talk about what to do during the launch in not tomorrow, but Thursday. So if you want to know what exactly you're doing during the launch, definitely tune in Thursday. I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so anyway, crowdfunding length. What do you want it to be? And what do you want the prep to be? Okay. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, guys, let's put it out in the world. When are you launching your crowdfund? When are you launching your crowdfund? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. It's okay. You won't die if you don't launch it on that day, but you got to put it out there. You got to put it out there. Courage equals confidence, right? Courage. And so, I see Lorna's on. Hi, Lorna. Good to see you, Lorna. Definitely tag a friend in this, guys. If you know someone who is wanting to crowdfund or curious about it, definitely tag someone in this, because this is like great value. Like you said, Sharon, we're one little element at a time. That's all it takes. So definitely tag a friend if you think, hey, Sarah, oh my gosh, long time no see. Good to see you. We are talking about crowdfunding our next music album and how to do that. So that's what we're up to. Say hi, Sarah, if you're still here. Okay, so let me toggle off here from that. Tomorrow, guys, is going to be day 2, which is going to be talking about teams and systems, how to build up teams and systems for your next crowdfund. And I'm going to be talking about how more of that business plan, like how do you put a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign within a long-term business plan for your music, And how do you keep it running long term, not just one time? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about building up your fan base beforehand, so it's not just like boom, randomly you've been you haven't been doing anything, and then suddenly you're doing a crowdfund, right? Um, so how do you put teasers out there? How do you bring people on a journey that is fun and honorable and feels good? Um, Tomorrow we're also going to be talking about what kinds of people do you want around you during this crowdfund? Who do you want on your team? Do you want social media support? Do you want different things like that? And then we're going to be talking about the systems of how to set up those key elements throughout your campaign. So again, if you're an artist who's ready to crowdfund, definitely tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST, and then Thursday 10 a.m. PST. The workshop starts on Friday. So the workshop is Friday. Andy is going to be from Rocket Fuel, by the way, is going to be one of our guest speakers. And he has helped artists in the UK. He's been an artist manager for a big Christian artist in the UK before, and he has helped her in particular. She's in a record label now. Crowdfund over 100K with her fan base. He also helps artists who are just starting art as well create those 5Ks and 10K goals. And we're partnering up in this workshop coming up. So you definitely want to hear from him. He's got all the organization. It's funny. I keep talking to a bunch of artists who've worked with him, and they're like, he is so organized. So if you want to be very organized in your approach, definitely comment workshop. You want to hear from Andy at the workshop on Friday. Starts at 9 a.m. And we also we are doing Saturday at 10 a.m. as well. So if you can make any of those time frames, definitely comment workshop in the chat, and I can get you the deets. Let me see here. Oh, that's right. If you are looking to workshop any of these parts, your signature story, your teams and systems, or your crowdfund launch, and you'd like to have a strategy and support behind you, I'm putting my link in the chat to schedule a call with me. Slots are super filled up this week. But if you can grab a call before the workshop, I can see if there is a ticket for you. We're doing a share the love bonus and bringing friends to the event and all sorts of things. So definitely book a call with me if that's you, if you're curious on how to crowdfund 5K in 30 days. I am hopping off to talk with another artist who is wanting to crowdfund, and yeah, things are happening, guys. So don't get left behind. Be brave and courageous this week, whatever you do. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. PST, 10:30 a.m. PST. Bye, guys.